All right, today we're going to be doing something super exciting. We're going to be combining a 13 image focus stack, and we're going to be using my favorite piece of software to do this. So all that and more in just a few minutes. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hello and welcome back, everyone. So before we get into the focus stack, I just quickly want to say that I'm going to be in this video showing you the focus stack process and the software that I use to do it. But then afterwards, I'm going to be going on to actually post-process this image from start to finish, showing my workflow, basically how I process it, from luminosity masks and dodging and burning and all that good stuff in Photoshop. And if you want to see that part of this video, head over to my Patreon account, which is my subscription service called the Fellowship of Photographers. And just head over there right now at fellowshipoffphotographers.com. I just launched it yesterday. I already have 2 people that were kind enough to jump in on that, and it's a monthly subscription service where you're subscribing to learning from me on a monthly basis. A lot of people have been requesting this, so thank you so much for that. And I wanted to just provide a much more affordable way to learn from me instead of me just kind of disappear for 3 months and create one big expensive course. This way you're just paying monthly and everybody gets everything at the same price. It seems like the most fair way to do things. Still going to be releasing courses, but this way you can get everything on a monthly basis as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Lightroom. Okay, so here we are in Adobe Lightroom. And you can see all 13 images here. They're labeled in green, and I always like to do that. I always like to label like my source images in green, all the images that I use to do some kind of blend or focus stack, and then I always name the final result put it in purple. So you can see this is the final results of these photos once everything is focus stacked, all 13 images put together and fully post-processed. So if you do a quick one-to-one view there, you can see how just crazy sharp it is from the most foreground point of the image all the way through midground and throughout to the back. It's beautifully sharp, and only focus stacking could achieve this. So let's go ahead and show you my favorite software and get into this. So here we go. So here are our images, and if we just kind of quickly go through them, you can see as I move through each of the 13 images, you can see there's some slight movement, and I'm not giving it time to load, so if it looks blurry, it's just because, number one, the foreground is slowly getting blurrier, and because I'm not giving Lightroom a chance to load them. But you can see there's a little bit of movement in between each one, and that is very inherent of a focus stack. It's called focus breathing, and the image kind of shifts inward and outward a little bit, and it can definitely cause some perspective issues. So a lot of times in Photoshop, you'll run into some issues with focus stacking because the algorithm just simply isn't great. It's good, but it's not great. So let's go ahead and select all 13 of these images, and normally I would export them as PSDs, and I would work through that route. That's my normal workflow. But since we're doing a video here, I don't want this to take forever, especially since these are D850 files. So let's just go ahead and do my JPEG preset, 100% JPEG, and we'll go ahead and export these to my focus stack folder right here. I always keep a little focus stack folder on my desktop. It's just easy because I do them so often. And I always just delete the files after I'm done, so it just always keeps it a nice empty focus stack folder there for me. So as soon as these 13 46 megapixel files get done exporting, I will catch up with you again, and we'll talk about the software we're going to use to actually merge the focus stack. All right, everything just finished exporting. So let's go ahead and close down Lightroom, and we're going to open a sweet little software called Helicon Focus. And you can see how fast that software loaded just on one click. It's a very fast, just stripped down software, but the algorithm is just simply perfect. Not great, not good, not really good. I mean perfect. I've never had an issue or any kind of halo or artifact or anything in a focus stack blend with this software. Easily, this is the best software in the world for focus stacking. So let's pull up our focus stack, where is it at? Focus stack folder here. And let's take all these images, just mass select them, and we'll just drag them in. And as soon as you drag them in, they'll all start loading here into the side. And when they're loaded in, you'll be presented with three main options. There's method A, B, and C. And if you hover your mouse cursor over each option, it'll pop up a little dialog that'll tell you what each option is best for. So if I hover my mouse there, let me try it again. There we go. It says produces smooth transitions and preserves colors. That's like the default. And then method B says works best for continuous surfaces. So that would mean, let's say that you're shooting maybe a cracks in sand or a cracked earth or something like that, some kind of very repeating pattern. That would be great for that. And then method C, good for intersecting objects and deep stacks. So this one would probably be the best for product photography if you're doing like 50 images on a wristwatch or a ring or something like that, where it has a lot of different lines and facets and all these things to kind of intersect. So anyway, we're just going to do the weighted average, method A, for this, because there's nothing too complicated about this. There's no really repeating patterns or intersecting. It's just kind of a standard scene. So we're just going to do method A, and then all we do is go down here and click render. And as soon as we click render, it's going to start its little process and its amazing algorithm. And it'll kind of give me a live preview over here to the right of everything it's doing. And then when it's done, you'll be able to preview at a high resolution. You'll be able to preview the image and kind of zoom through and make sure it's good. And if you don't like it, then you can reset everything. There's a big reset button down here, which is awesome. You don't have to close it and reload the images. You just reset and then run it on method B or C, or play around with the radius or smoothing. Okay, so it's done. You can see here on the right, everything is focus stacked. And now we can take this little magnifying glass and we can just click and hold it, and it will give us a 100% view as long as we keep the mouse clicked. And we're just looking for any kind of weird signs of artifacting. And if you see on the very edges of rocks that it looks like there's a tiny little bit of haloing, that's only because after we save this, it's going to do like a final render everything out, and everything's going to be even more perfect, just tidy it up a little bit. But everything actually looks really good. I mean, look at the edge of that rock right there. No haloing, no artifacting. Everything looks pretty darn perfect to me. Okay, I like that. So now let's just go over to the saving panel. And here we can export this as a 3D model so that we get the whole depth map that we can play around with. Save depth map, create animation. This software gives you a lot of crazy options. For me, I mainly just save it and I can export it from here. I brought it in as a JPEG, so I'm going to save it as a JPEG. But normally I bring it in as a TIFF or PSD, so then I would export as TIFF or PSD or DNG or whatever. And then I save it right back in my Focus Stack folder. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. 100% quality. And then if we hop into Finder again, go back to the desktop, Focus Stack, here is our image. If we double click it, there it is right there. And we can do our own zooming in now outside of the Helicon Focus. And look, everything perfectly sharp all the way from bottom throughout the midground. We can move over to the left and the right. All these rocks are nice and sharp. And of course, into the background. So there you go. That is how you focus stack with my favorite software. Way better than Photoshop's algorithm. This software is literally made for focus stacking. So I hope you enjoyed that. And again, if you would like to see me go on and post-process this photo and do the whole start to finish job, head over to patreon.com/findingmiddle-earth or fellowshipoffphotographers.com. They both go to the same place. And you can join that monthly subscription and you get access to all this stuff. So I hope I see you over there, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.